Hello everybody, another recap of The Curse of Oak Island. This one is from December 7th, Season 9, Episode 6 of The Curse of Oak Island, titled The Root Cause. If you missed my recap of Episode 5, there is a link to it on the upper right. Let's get into it. There is an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years. You know the rest. The Money Pit area drilling operation is starting borehole deep 1.5 in an effort to pinpoint locations to sink 10-foot wide steel shafts for further exploration. Previously in the C1 cluster, samples have revealed numerous man-worked wood timbers as well as metal objects and water samples, both with silver and gold content in them. At the 84-foot level, they found wood and speculate that they have grazed a beam. And the narrator asks if it could be connected to the evidence of a tunnel they found 2.5 feet away at nearly the same depth in borehole D2, including evidence of gold with wood carbon dated from 400 to 1680. Members of the team meet at Lot 4 to follow up on last week's magnetometer findings of anomalies in the approximate area of the hatch on Zena Halpern's French map. Gary finds a piece of metal a foot down. He suspects it is copper. Laird and the archaeologists have obtained special permission to investigate on the western side of the stone road in the swamp. The government is much more involved now due to the numerous findings, some of which are indigenous Mi'kmaq pottery. Mi'kmaq also referred to as First Nation in the episode. They found a flat layer of stone with wood as part of the structure. The wood can be tested with carbon dating and endocrinology. Archaeologist Miriam Evero says that the road does extend out to the ocean as previously suspected. Paraphrasing Alex Lagina, we just have to cross our fingers that it won't shut us down. Back at the Money Pit in borehole D1.5 at the 93-foot level, they again find evidence that they are scraping along the edge of a structure. There is also axe-cut wood, which indicates an older time period. The wood is also below undisturbed till, which indicates a tunnel. Marty Lagina says his leading theory is that the Money Pit keeps going down to distract, while there is a tunnel to an offset chamber at around the 90-foot level. That's the same level where in the Money Pit was found a stone with markings on it that was translated as saying 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. Searchers dug past that point and sprang the flood tunnel booby trap. Marty goes on to say that in the thinking of 100 or 200 years ago, no one could possibly ever find that because of no surface disturbance. There would be nothing, referring to an offset chamber as far as any evidence pointing to that. The areas they found wood in form a rectangle about 18 by 12 feet, which they, again, say could apply to a chamber. They also find what could be a dowel, which the depositors likely used instead of spikes to construct the shafts and tunnels. Gary and Jack return to Lot 4 to continue metal detecting the anomalies found by the magnetometer survey. Gary finds a metal buckle with leather still attached to it. He thinks the buckle is iron. Next, Gary finds a button that has a nice patina on it, as Gary says. He has found many buttons on the island over the years, some from after the Money Pit's discovery, but also some from before it as well. And Gary says this button could be a copper alloy, pewter, or silver. Afterwards, Marty holds a meeting in the war room with the archaeologists and informs them that they have decided to back down from archaeological methods so that nothing else is found that would result in even more restrictions on what they can do. He tells them that he appreciates their skill sets and the finds that the team would not have made without the archaeologists. Laird Niven says he thinks the team is doing the right thing. Laird will remain on the island full-time to continue consulting, but the other archaeologists will be leaving. In the archaeology trailer, Kelly decides to do an X-ray fluorescence test on the button before it is cleaned, because there could be precious metals in the soil itself. The button is determined to be mostly copper, but does have some gold and silver in it, as represented by AU and AG, respectively. They guess it could have belonged to a British officer. 3 days after archaeological activities were halted on the island, the team meets in the war room with Craig Tester via video conferencing to hear the carbon dating results on a tree root the archaeologists found under the stone wharf. The tests reveal a time period of 1474 to 1638. Surveyor Steve Guptill says that lines up with the wood from D2 that tested 1488 to 1650. It means the root was there when the stones were put on top of it, and that the root would have been there at most 40 to 50 years before the construction. The dates are also the same period of some of the stakes they found along the cobbled path, all of which are significantly before the discovery of the money pit. The evidence points to the money pit and swamp area construction as happening all at the same time. Next time on the Curse of Oak Island, they bring in a huge excavator, as you can see here, and Rick says, if there's a ship there, I want to see it, referring to the ship-shaped anomaly found during a seismic scan of the swamp a year or two ago. Also, this same thing somebody brought up in the comments of one of the recaps about, like, what are they doing about that? And they hadn't revisited it, but apparently they're going to revisit it on the next episode. The belt buckle is connected to the Portuguese, just like the stone construction in the swamp. The thin metal is revealed to be the type used in the construction of cannons. And in the C1 cluster, someone says, seems to me that it's a shaft wall. I'll be back next week to recap that episode, which is number 7, and a link to that recap episode will be in the upper right in this video once I post that episode 7 recap. Please subscribe, like, and click the notification bell so YouTube knows you like this stuff. And thanks so much for watching.